All right, this is another video. What's going on? This video, as you've seen the title, is about eunuchs. So I was reading a book about a year ago, and I was going through different subjects in that book. And when I did, I came across the word eunuch, and I was like, this is very different. The book I'm talking about, I'll get into it in a few seconds. I just want to give you a little a brief overview or a synopsis of what I'm talking about. So I was watching this movie today. When I was watching the film, the word eunuch came up like 3 times. So I was like, something is telling me I've heard this word before a while back. Something is telling me to dig or do some searching or research about it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the definition of a eunuch. Then I'm gonna go into the book that I first heard of it in. I'm gonna give you visual examples. Well, not actual visual examples, or just dialogue of speaking of the eunuch. Okay, as you can see, the word eunuch, E-U-N-U-C-H, and my source is Wikipedia. All right. So let me get into it. So you can always try to give my sources. Any type of books I'm reading out of, anything I get offline, you can always go check and double check behind me, and make sure it's valid, so you can always know what's going on. All right, the earliest for international castration. See, castration, and we're gonna keep going. Well, if you don't know what castration is, it means to cut off the lower extremities or the penis or the clitoris of the person. To produce eunuchs are from the Sumerian city of Lagash. So let's stop right there. So the reason why I stopped, I'm going to show you a still frame of what the film I was watching. All right there. As you can see, when I was watching this film, I seen that. I know I've seen it before, but it's Sumerian. So when I've seen it, I'm like, I couldn't get they didn't give you the exact city or the country they were in. They was like trying to allude to something. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just keep watching and everything was just going to fall into place. But I'm going to show you a picture out of this book. I really haven't read fully, but I know I skimmed through it a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, right here, you see the same exact bird right there. All right? It's the same one. So I'm going to show you. Okay, this book is by Zachariah Stitchin. As you can see, Sumerian clay tablet. And the name of this book is called Memoirs and Prophecies of an Extraterrestrial God, the last book of Enki, by Zachariah Stitchin, author of The 12th Planet. All right, let me get back to the definition of eunuch. So, the Sumerian city of Lagash in the 21st century BC, over the millennia since, they have performed a wide variety of functions in many different cultures. Courtiers or equivalent domestics, treble singers. Okay, and I also looked up what a treble singer is. Okay, I'm gonna give you the definition of it. This voice is produced by castration of the singer before puberty, so they never reach sexual maturity. So like people like sing, when they say treble, there's no bass in their voice. So they do that right before they reach any type of maturity, or their scrotum or their nuts drop. So you haven't reached puberty yet. You haven't reached that weird, awkward stage of your voice changing and all that. So, that's why when people have certain people can do it with that's not eunuchs and sing high-pitched voices. So don't just make it, I'm not just making it, that's the only way they can be able to do it, is when they have their lower extremities cut off at a young age. That's not the case. I'm just saying some people, that was their job was to be a treble singer without any bass in their voice. All right, just keep going. Concu, they were, show you where I was at before we go into talk about treble singers. Equivalent domestics, treble singers, concubines, or sexual partners. You're thinking, how can that be? How can it be sexual partners that don't have anything, a phallus or a penis or a clitoris? Well, and they get into something I was reading last year, and it's gonna clear up a few things. Okay, this is the book I was reading out of last year. As you can see, this is the older copy. It kind of comes apart, but I'm glad I found it for a great price too. Still shocking that for 15 centuries, the ultimate guide to physical sex, the Kama Sutra of Vatsyayana, now complete and unexpurgated. So Vatsyayana is actually in India. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of you see like pictures all over different walls or different areas, like in India, Asia, Egypt, or what we would call the original name is Kemet. A lot of different places, ancient areas. Well, ancient means highly melanated people, so-called black people. They have, and this book is, as you see, Vatsyayana is from India, right? They have Dravidian people, dark-skinned people. You don't even know, barely even know about them in India. They treat them so bad. Everywhere you go in the world, dark-skinned people are treated bad. You know, so I'm going to stay on focus. So I was reading this book. As you see, it's the Lover's Bible. I was reading parts of this book, you know, in and out. And I ended up coming across this part, so so I wanted to. It just came up in the movie, so I remember I seen that word before. So I'm like, I'm gonna show y'all what. I'm not gonna read everything about it because it get kind of gross or whatever. But I'm gonna dispel certain things. Okay, so like sometimes when I'm in a book, if I don't know what a certain word means, I need to figure it out. Like right here, the word eunuch. First time I ever seen it. Over a year ago, so I put the definition there for myself. So men, and it's also women too, but it's mainly men who have been castrated mainly for a certain type of work. And that's what I was getting into. Not me myself, but when I was reading, I'm not ever gonna get castrated. That's for goddamn sure. All right, all right. Let me see. So I'm gonna read this first paragraph. After that, it gets into some stuff I ain't want, but like everything else in this book, I haven't really fully read the book, but it's some pretty good stuff in there, about some sexual stuff. So yeah, but anyway, let me get into it. All right, this is the part. I'm only gonna read the first paragraph. There are two kinds of eunuchs: those that are disguised as males, and those that are disguised as females. Eunuchs disguised as females imitate their dress, speech, gestures, tenderness, timidity, their shyness, simplicity, softness, and bashfulness. The acts that are done on the jagana, or middle parts of women, are done in the mouth of these eunuchs, because they don't have anything else to use. Their lower extremities are cut off, and this is called aparishtaka. These eunuchs derive their imaginable pleasure and their livelihood. See, this is their job. They do these certain things. Livelihood from this kind of congress, and they lead the life of courtesans. So much concerning eunuchs disguised as females. So back to what we was reading at, concubines or sexual partners. That's why I broke off and went to the Kama Sutra. So I'll give you an example. That's in India too, and that's what in the Eastern Hemisphere, and that's part of the Kushite Empire. So all that area from Egypt or Kemet up Ethiopia, Nubia, all going up to India. That's all ours. Everything is on different continents is ours. It's just broken apart. We just gotta go get to these different mythologies and it pretty much have the same story, just different names. Some you have slight, very differences in them, but they're pretty much the same. So concubines or sexual partners, religious specialists, soldiers, royal guards, government officials, and guardians of women or harem servants. All right, you see, he says, but the laws. But the laws, he's like I read before, he's like a government official too also. He has plenty jobs, but he's a eunuch in this film. As he keeps saying, the laws, that's like another job he's losing. He's losing another job, right? Okay. So, as we just saw, government officials and guardians of women or harem servants. A harem servant is almost like a woman or a male that runs a burlesque house or whorehouse, pretty much. So right here, you're gonna see. I don't know audio. You just read the captions. See, as the king is said, he's saying let's see, the eunuch is saying move, move. And the king is saying the harem is being dispersed. So that's another job he's losing. So that means he's the overlording or watcher of the women that the king deals with. As you're gonna see, it can be a line of women. Watch right there. See all the women over there. So that's what another of his jobs that he's actually losing. So the king commands no one's affections. That's what the king is actually saying right now, and he's actually going to go, do his thing a little bit. As he just said, a common girl. So he would have to be a watcher in order to know that. So he has to watch them and make sure they're clean and all this, and being able to be prepared for whenever the king wants to deal with any type of service that he wants, because they were actual servants for him. That's why everybody was kneeling, and also just for showing their not giving approval, but showing their regards for the king too also. Okay, this is where we left off at right here. Okay, eunuchs would usually be servants or slaves who had been castrated to make them reliable servants of a royal court where physical access to the ruler could wield a great influence. They might come to you for advice because you're not thinking with your lower self more than likely, because that's been cut off at a young age. So you're mainly thinking with your mind. So That's why people say don't think with that head, think with the other head. So that's what it pretty much comes from. So that eunuch has no way to think with the lower extremity because it's already gone. That's why they say it's a job for them. These are just, because they become eunuch because it's become a part of their job for that. All right. Let's see where we left off at. Okay, let's just start off again. Eunuchs would usually be servants or slaves who had been castrated to make them reliable servants of a royal court where physical access to the ruler could wield great influence. Seemingly lowly domestic functions, such as making the ruler's bed, bathing him, cutting his hair, carrying him in his litter. So I found out what the litter means. You know how you see like or king or queen, the royal court, they'll be sitting in a chair or inside of a small room with curtains around it, and you have like about a minimum of, they said from minimum of 2 to about 8. You know how like you get carried in your sarcophagus or your casket, and they carry you out the church into the car, to the hearse. That's what a litter is. So when you're getting carried, that's what that's what a eunuch's job is also too, is to carry the royal king or the queen or whoever's in power at that time. So cutting his hair, carrying him in his litter, or even relaying messages could, in theory, give a eunuch the ruler's ear. Okay, now watch this. Everything is symbolic. You know, if you're not paying attention, symbolically you can miss something. So if you didn't know what a eunuch was, this symbolically or a joke will go, it's not really a joke, but if you didn't know what it would go right over your heads. So as you see now, before this even happens, I want to pause this. You see the staff in his hands, right? Now watch this. Watch this. He said, but my lord. He cuts the staff that he has in his hand. If you don't like my kingship, come take my throne. So did you see that? I'm gonna play it again for you. See, the piece is broken off. It's cut. So they're saying that they're showing you that he's a eunuch. If they didn't give you of course, the definition in the movie what a eunuch was. So now you really get to see what a eunuch is. Something that's the person that has been, their lower extremities, the phallus, the penis, or the clitoris. They do it for women too also. I found out they do that in certain countries in Africa too, like different countries everywhere, but she won't get pleasure if the male is having sex with her. That's crazy, you know. So that's different. People have different cultures. So I'm not sure if I read that it was in a certain country in West Africa somewhere, but yeah. As you can see, they're giving you the definition of it, but just not explaining it to you. So if you just like, oh, what is that? He's just upset. You know, he's pretty much showing you what a eunuch is. He cut off his staff. He broke his staff. So now he's showing you what you really are. I'm like, it's very deep, you know, to think about it like that. But that's just how they have to do it in movies, because most movies are not going to give you a full definition of anything. So you got to catch it how you catch it. So symbolically, everything has a purpose. As he says, the law has changed. That's what the king is saying. So he came in and said free Volusians have every right to own slaves. So as you see, this is like in the royal court right here. So this is the eunuch right here. And I'm going to show you something. He has a Heru's lock or a Horus lock on the side of his head, showing that he's has information, or the inside the mind. They say the inside the ear is where, or the pineal gland inside there, that's where the information is, or you're high up, or he's supposed to be like he can be a religious person, a highly religious person too. Also, that's why I said eunuchs have plenty jobs. So let me show you what else he says, and it's not. Let me show you too. Also, it's not real. His actual Heru or Horus lock is not real, but you can always find Hasidic Jews, the Jews that wear all black, that walk around in different parts of different cities, or whatever you see them in, you know what I'm saying, but whatever city you live in. If you see them wearing all black, you might mainly see them in New York. Some cities, I think I've seen them before in Texas too also. Yeah, I've seen them in Texas. And also seen them in Wisconsin too. So a lot of different places you'll find them wherever they are. They're called Hasidic Jews. Now watch this. So he's showing you the law. It is carved by our forefathers, and it can't be altered. So let's rewind this again so you can see it. Right here, the Heru's lock on the side of his head, right here. It's supposed to come out from this, like if you're going to sit on your side of your face, it means it's supposed to be something coming out of your ear. That means what goes in your ears, like music or what you're hearing, is pleasurable or like something good to you, or informative, or something that's going to help you raise yourself up, right? So watch this. It's not real. So it's all just the act. And he's looking at it like something's on the side of his face. And he pulls it off the side of his face. You see it in his hands? The Heru's lock or Horus lock is not real. They call it I got the Barahandra chakra. Let me go ahead and do that right now. It's Barahandra chakra, that's Hindu too also. Okay, reading out of the Book of Thoth, as you can see, and this is by Aleister Crowley. Okay, there's actually a Book of Thoth tarot deck. This is the book. You can get the cards with it too, so you can actually do tarot with it. But I just got the book. You never know, I might get the tarot deck later, but it's always out there, so you can find it on Amazon or wherever you like to go to get your stuff online. Okay, right here it says he has a lock of black hair curling around his ear, and that is the influence of the highest descending upon the Barahandra chakra. Okay, the ear is the vehicle of Akasha spirit. So that's sound, and sound, what you have going inside your ears, like what you watch on television or what you watch reading wise, the sonic sounds you hear from music, that all plays a part. So that's why that guy, the eunuch, had he had the black hair around his ear, showing it's what? Highest descending upon the Barahandra chakra. You can always look that up. Bara. Let me spell it for you so you can look it up too. Okay. BRAHMARANDRA chakra. CHAKRA. You can look that up, and you can maybe make your own video. You know, I might run across it one day. So that's very indicative of what the person is into, or in ancient times. That's what that meant. Not just that you were royalty or anything. It just that meant that you were putting things in your mind that could help you evolve or grow or be even stronger. Not just physically stronger, but mentally stronger. Because the mind controls the brain, and the brain to the body. So the brain is just a big muscle. That's the biggest muscle in your body. And it just controls, the mind controls the functions of the brain, which is the muscle. All right, but that's this video I wanted to do about the eunuch. All right, peace. Nigga.